Imagine your own family telling you they're trying to save your life. Imagine trusting them. Trusting your aunt. Trusting your cousins. Trusting the people you've known your entire life. Then imagine being tied to a metal frame, face down, unable to move, while burning charcoal is placed beneath your body. Minutes pass. Then hours. The heat becomes unbearable. You scream. You beg. You cry. But nobody stops. They believe they're helping you. When it's finally over, you're rushed to a hospital. The next day, you're dead. And 2 years later, the court decides it was not murder. Tonight, we're talking about one of the most controversial criminal cases in modern South Korea. A case involving family, faith, a fatal ritual, and a verdict that divided an entire nation. Welcome to the podcast You Can't Unhear. The story begins in Incheon, South Korea. September 18th, 2024. At the center of the case was a woman in her 30s. Most reports focused less on her name and more on her relationship to the person accused of causing her death. Because the woman wasn't attacked by a stranger. She wasn't kidnapped. She wasn't targeted by a criminal gang. The person responsible was allegedly her own aunt. A shaman. Known publicly only by her surname, Shim. Shamanism remains part of Korean culture today. Many people visit shamans for spiritual guidance, for blessings, for fortune-telling, for rituals meant to remove bad luck. Most never become criminal cases. This one did. According to investigators, the victim had been trying to leave Shim's influence. She reportedly wanted to quit working for her aunt's business. She wanted distance. A different life. But according to prosecutors, Shim believed something else was happening. She claimed an evil spirit was attached to her niece, and that spirit needed to be removed. What followed would become the center of one of the country's biggest legal debates. According to court records, the victim was tied face down to an iron frame. Burning charcoal was placed beneath her. Not for a few minutes. For hours. Reports stated the ritual continued for roughly 3 hours. Additional charcoal was repeatedly added. The heat intensified. The victim remained restrained. And she wasn't alone with Shim. Other family members and followers allegedly participated, helping conduct the ritual, helping maintain it, helping continue it. Eventually, the victim's condition deteriorated severely. She was transported to a hospital, but the damage had already been done. The following day, she died. Doctors determined the cause was multiple organ failure caused by extensive burns. A ritual intended to save her life had ended it. Initially, the case didn't immediately become a murder investigation. Authorities first approached it as a case of negligence, resulting in death. But as investigators gathered more evidence, prosecutors began seeing something much darker. Eventually, the charge was upgraded. Murder. And the allegations didn't stop there. According to prosecutors, Shim had exercised enormous psychological influence over people around her. Family members, Followers. Employees. They claimed she convinced others that life's problems could only be solved through rituals. But her authority wasn't questioned. It was obeyed. Investigators also pointed toward what happened after the victim's condition worsened. There were allegations of delays. Questions about whether enough was done soon enough. Conflicting statements were reportedly given, and suspicions emerged that some people may have tried to minimize what happened. By 2025, the case reached court. The first verdict was severe. The Incheon District Court viewed the incident as an exceptionally cruel killing. Shim received life imprisonment, while several other defendants received sentences ranging from 10 to 25 years. The court's message appeared clear. A woman had died, and those responsible would face major consequences. For many people in South Korea, that seemed like the end of the story. Then came the appeal, and everything changed. In April 2026, the appellate court delivered a decision that stunned the public. The murder convictions were overturned. Not because the victim survived, not because the facts changed, but because of one crucial legal question: intent. The appeal court acknowledged the ritual was dangerous, extremely dangerous. The defendants should have understood the risk of serious injury, perhaps even death. But under Korean law, murder requires more than awareness of risk. The court must determine whether the defendant accepted that possibility, whether they knowingly proceeded despite understanding death could occur. And according to the appellate court, that threshold had not been proven. The judges pointed to several factors. Emergency services were eventually contacted. CPR was reportedly attempted. Evidence such as CCTV footage had not been destroyed. And perhaps most importantly, the court believed Shim genuinely thought the ritual would help. Not kill. Help! That belief didn't excuse what happened, but it changed the legal classification. Instead of murder, the case became fatal bodily injury, violence resulting in death. Shim's life sentence disappeared. She received 7 years in prison. Others received suspended sentences. The backlash was immediate. Many South Koreans couldn't understand it. How could someone die after being tied down for hours over burning charcoal, and the case not be considered murder? Just how? Others argued the court was following the law correctly, that terrible judgment and criminal intent are not always the same thing. And that's where this case becomes so uncomfortable, because two very different stories emerged. One version described manipulation, control, neglect. A dangerous figure exercising power over vulnerable people. The other described a group of individuals trapped inside a belief system. People who genuinely thought they were helping, even while causing catastrophic harm. And depending on which version feels more convincing to you, the verdict feels very different. Some people hear 7 years and think, that's outrageously lenient. Others hear the details and ask, if someone truly believes they're saving a life, does that change the crime? It's a question with no easy answer. Because intent exists inside someone's mind, and courts can only judge what they can prove, not what they suspect. Not what feels obvious. what they can prove. And that's why this case continues to spark debate across South Korea. Not simply because of the ritual, not simply because of the death, but because it forces people to confront a difficult question. Where is the line between belief and responsibility? If someone causes immense suffering while genuinely believing they're helping, are they less guilty? Or does that belief make them even more dangerous? Because history is full of people who caused terrible harm, while believing they were doing good. And perhaps that's what makes this case so haunting. Sometimes the most frightening crimes aren't committed by people who know they're doing evil. Sometimes they're committed by people who are absolutely convinced they're doing the right thing. And that distinction can be terrifying. As always, stay safe out there, guys. And I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast You Can't Unhear.